This is the Paul Westerberg interview, recorded from The Jim Rome Show, Premier Radio Networks, October 6, 2004, courtesy of LiveWithTheMom.com.
From Los Angeles, this is The Jim Rome Show, a presentation of Premier Radio Networks.
What is up? A very good Wednesday to you. I am in Los Angeles. I am Jim Rome. Nice to have you. Also in the second hour, I'm going to go off the board today. We are scheduled to speak with the front man for my favorite band ever, The Replacements, Paul Westerberg. I spoke to him once before a long time ago backstage. Didn't go very well for me. Let's hope it goes better for me today than it did then. All right then, yes, it is a sports show, but on occasion I'll bust out and I'll go off the board and talk about something else. Interview somebody who's not sports-related. Normally something relating to the arts. Maybe we'll talk movies, or we'll talk some music. KISS frontman Gene Simmons was in studio just last week. The fellas from Blink-182 will come in once a year. But my favorite band ever was The Replacements. Now, keep in mind, I'm nearly 40. I turned 40 soon, so that's what I listened to when I was in college. And after, and still now. I mentioned this recently, and sure enough, somebody in the industry called and said, "Do you want Tommy Stinson on the program?" And I said, sure. Stinson, of course, the brilliant bassist and one of the founders of that band, reportedly at the age of 13. No sooner than he came on the program, somebody called and said, "That was great hearing Tommy. Do you want Paul Westerberg as well?" And I said, absolutely. He's the front man for The Replacements, one of the generation's finest lyricists, and he's got a new solo album out entitled Folker. It's got 13 new tracks. He joins me on the program right now. Paul, it's good to have you on the show. How are you?
Good. How are you, Jim?
Doing good, Paul. Really nice to have you, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know, listening to the album, Paul, it sounds like maybe there's some 14 songs, you know, the solo album back in 93, or maybe even some mats in it if you listen carefully. Give me your thought. Tell me about it.
I mean, you know, it's from day one I sounded like I sound today. There's no... there's no great leap. I haven't developed a new style or anything. It's just a little bit more folk-oriented with a rock background, less loud guitars and more emphasis probably on the lyrics and the melody. But that's what happens when you do it by yourself, you know.
Yeah, not only by yourself, Paul, but you did it in your studio at home, so it sounds like maybe it's a little bit more raw, maybe a little bit less polished. Is it a byproduct of doing it in the home studio, or was that by design?
It's both. I mean, I tried to get that raw sound in the studio, but it's like you've always got an engineer sticking a microphone in front of an amp and then taking half an hour to test it. And I just, I'd set the mics up and hit the play button and knock them all over as I jump over the drum kit and just, leave them like that, and that's the sound I would get. So I would, take my chances and see how it came out. I'm not one for doing a lot of rehearsing or a lot of retakes or anything.
Hey, bottom line, that first take is usually the best. Usually you get the most passion in that first take as opposed to a third or fourth, right?
Absolutely. I mean, lots of times the second take is temptation because I don't have maybe all the lyrics down on the first one. I'm kind of winging it, but the feeling is there. And by the second one, I've got the lyrics. But more often than not, I go with the first one and then try to tweak up the words a little bit.
The album is called Folker, latest album, 13 tracks. Paul Westerberg is our guest. Paul, it sounds like it got pretty personal, like you really put yourself out there on this one. You really laid your soul on the line, right, for this album?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know if I've ever, not done that on others. Maybe some were a little more protective. I think the loss of my father last year sort of put things in perspective for me to feel like, I'm going to say what I want to say because I'm not going to be here forever. It's the first time I really experienced losing someone. And there's a song about him on the record, too. Great baseball fan that he was, and that was part of it, It set me free in a way.
The song is called My Dad, and he passed away at age 85 last November. Did he ever hear the song?
No, he didn't, I was hoping he maybe might get a chance to. I wrote it in October, and he went in November, but, maybe he hears it now.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Paul, you mentioned he was a great baseball fan. What about, fathers and sons? They go to the ballpark, they watch games. What about the two of you growing up? Did you guys watch sports together?
Oh yeah, man, all the time. We used to go to the games. I remember one Twins game at the old Met, and there was a tornado. We had to go underneath the grandstand, and there was water up to his knees, and I was like about 6 or 7, sitting on his shoulders. And yeah, I remember going to those pennant games with Baltimore in '69, '70. We were a big baseball fan. My mom was forever. She used to actually dated Ted Williams. Not to date her too much, but
dude, that can't. Come on. She dated Ted Williams?
Hey, it's true. It's would I lie to you?
No, man, no, you couldn't make that up. That is cool. Mm-hmm. So like, Pops, what did he think when you got into music and joined a band? And not only like you're a kid in a band, but this is what I'm going to do for my career. What did he think of that?
Well, he told me to get a job for 10 years, and then there was a picture of me in the paper, and it was suddenly like, oh, I see. He's actually got a job here. He never quite understood the writing songs and recording bit. He understood the going out and performing, but he always felt when I wasn't performing that I was not working, which, is wrong. But yeah, that's the way it goes, I suppose.
He probably got the paycheck. When the paycheck started coming in, he probably understood that. Did he understand critically what a success you were, what a big deal you had become?
Not really. He knew me on a local level, and he knew that I was like a local, popular artist, with Tommy in the band, and he would enjoy seeing his name in the paper, the Westerberg name, and made him feel proud. He enjoyed it.
This album is called Folker. Paul Westerberg's latest effort. You want to check that out? Paul, you mentioned Tommy. Tommy, as I said, came on the show recently, and although he didn't say it when he came on the show, I've seen where he's broken out that line, quote, Paul Westerberg's more difficult to deal with than Axl Rose. He's used that line a couple of times. When you hear that, do you sort of laugh it off, or does that kind of rub you the wrong way?
Oh, I'm proud of that. I'm probably more difficult than a room full of Axl Roses.
Great.
Yeah, I won't dispute that at all, although I never met Axl. I don't know.
Back in the day, Paul, excuse me, I was going to say, back in the day, I can remember, and I told Tommy this, when you guys were on your Pleased to Meet Me tour, I saw you at the Variety Arts Center, and I got backstage, and I had, a beer or 8 or 10, and I was pretty knuckleheaded, and I found you backstage, and I managed to, dude, Tim is the greatest album ever, right? And you kind of looked at me and said, well, actually, I kind of like this one better. So here we are, 12, 14 years out. I can make another run at it. Tim or Pleased to Meet Me? Which one?
Tim doesn't sound very good, but it's got, I think, the better songs. Pleased to Meet Me, I think, is probably the best sounding one. I guess I would go toward Pleased to Meet Me still.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got Skyway and Can't Hardly Wait, and then the other side it's got the stupid I Don't Know and IOU. It sort of, goes both ends of the spectrum. That was cut 3-piece too. That was me, Tommy, and Chris. So you can look at it like that, and the other one was the last one with Bob, Tommy's brother.
Sure. Hey, Paul, I know you tried to get a benefit together, and you tried to get the band back together, but it didn't come off. Was that a matter of guys logistically couldn't pull it off, or maybe just didn't want to pull it off?
Yeah, I think there was probably 8 cold feet involved. I opened my big trap, and I was ready to do it, and when the other couple guys backed out for various reasons, I was sort of breathed a sigh of relief, although I felt like now or never, this is the time we're going to do it, and it didn't come to be, so like I say, I'm as guilty as the rest of them, although I'm going to play myself for the benefit, and so are, I think, the other members, do various things for Carl Mueller and stuff.
Yeah, it's too bad it didn't come off, and I get that whole now or never thing, but I can't help but wonder, any idea how it would have gone if it did come together?
It would have probably gone really good, and I think that was the scary thing, because a couple of the guys have, careers. I mean, Chris has a bona fide career as a visual artist, drawings, paintings, sculpting, whatever, and the offers would come in left and right for us to go play. They already wanted us to get together and play, Madison Square Garden and all this stuff. And I guess they were a little hesitant to get back into the rock and roll game because they know it's a grind if you really get out there and do it, and you're on the road for half a year. And I myself don't care for that much anymore, but I'm certainly willing to play a few dates.
I was going to say, Paul, what are you going to do to support the album? I mean, at 44 with a 6-year-old at home, you're not going to tour like you used to, but will you get out and play some dates, some shows?
Yeah, I'm going to, strangely enough, they want me over in England, so I'm going over there in a couple of weeks, going to play a show in London, and then I'm going to come home and play, I believe, at least 2, if not 3 shows here in Minneapolis, and that's going to set the tone. I want to see if we might take it down the West Coast and down south, places where we missed maybe last time. And I've got some backing this time. I'm not just on my own, so it's up to the availability of the other guys too.
Good. So listen, are you a T-Wolf fan also?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite, the wife is pretty much the basketball fan in the family, but she gives me the lowdown, telling me that we're getting rid of Wally and Sam and Irv for Jason Kidd.
That's cool. What about the son? What's he into? Sports, music? Neither.
He's right down the middle. He plays everything. Baseball, football. He's like 6. He's a horse too. He's gonna be bigger than me by the time he's like 9. But he's got his buddies coming over, and they're up in his room listening to Iron Man, and they're practicing, their little fake band and stuff. So, he wants to do it all. He's starting real young. It's kind of scaring me.
That's cool. Paul, last thought. At 44, you're not the guy that you were at 34. You're not the guy that you were at 24. We all change. If you don't, you're a knucklehead. I mean, as part of that maturation process, does that necessitate that you lose the edge that made you so great?
I am a knucklehead.
Good.
Bonafide.
Good.
I mean, I'm able to be responsible when I have to when it comes to my son. But other than that, I make stupid mistakes every day. Yesterday at the soccer game, I yelled at the coach and told him to shut up and go to hell. And, I was then asked to, go move farther away from the field.
Dude, that's incredible.
Well, it's sort of, you can take the garage singer out of the garage, but whatever.
Good, man. I would just drop Let It Be on him and just say, hey, yeah, listen to this on the way home, pal.
Yeah.
The album is Folker. It is available everywhere. 13 brand new tracks. Paul Westerberg is the guy. Came into the jungle. Paul, that was great. I really had been looking forward to that, and I really enjoyed that. I'm glad you made time. Really good to have you on the show.
Thanks very much, Jim. I appreciate it.
That was really a good time, Paul. Thank you very much. When you come out here, I'd love to come out and see you. His album is called Folker. Folker. The guy is a genius. I mean, he's brilliant. One of the great lyricists of the generation. As far as I'm concerned, still my favorite band ever. Best band I ever heard. Coming in and talking about how his wife breaks down possible trades for the Timberwolves and how he told the soccer coach that he was an idiot. Any Mats fans want to respond to that? 1-800-636-8686. Steve Finley's on the radar. AJ Brzezinski in studio soon enough. And that was Paul Westerberg. Again, his album, Folker. Folker. You can pick that up in record stores. All right, coming right back. Stay tuned.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.